Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another Top Producer webinar. I'm your host for today, Spencer with Top Producer's Customer Success Department. And the whole point of this show today is to show you how to get started with Top Producer X, help point you in the right direction, with help resources, videos, and everything like that. But just want to, let you know right off the bat that this is not to cover everything today. This is just to, like I said, set you down the right path, raise some awareness for which settings should be touched on when before really diving in and getting started. So I just want to reach out to you guys and please let me know if you can hear me all right. Let me know how the sound quality is, how the volume is. Feel free to let me know where you're coming from today, where you do real estate at, how long you've been with Top Producer. Whether you're a brand new Top Producer user or maybe you're just brand new to Top Producer X and you've been using Top Producer CRM for years. We'd like to hear from you. So just to cover a couple administrative things here. So this is the name of the game today. This is New User Setup Essentials. Like I said, once again, this is your host, Spencer, Top Producer, and also I'm joined by my colleague Marvin, one of our research technicians. He'll be in the live chat today, helping to support the show, also engaging with you guys, and yeah. So we'd really like to hear from you. That's what makes the show fun and engaging, and it can get custom tailored to the audience. So all you got to do is log in with a Google account. And then you can use the chat on the right side of the page there. So moving on here, if at any point you need some more one-on-one help, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer care team. You can reach us in a variety of ways. You can call us at 1-800-830-8300. You can also contact us using the live chat support in the bottom right of your Top Producer CRM, as well as any of the other Top Producer products as well. Both of these options can be used Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time. Alternatively, you can also email our help desk at support@topproducer.com. And just checking out the comments here really quick. I see Maricel Hernandez says, "Hi, good afternoon from New York." Awesome. Well, Maricel, thank you so much for tuning in today. Good to have you. Welcome to the Top Producer new user are getting started with TPX webinar. And I also see Linda Johnson. Linda, thanks for joining in today. Welcome once again as well. And feel free to chime in at any point during the show. And hopefully I can, like I said, help raise some awareness for what needs to be set up first. And also we can have some fun along the way. So this is the game plan for today. This is what we'll go over. We'll cover Top Producer X CRM's settings, point out some key settings that you should be setting up first before you really dive into database management and using it day to day. After that, we'll talk about ways to build your contact database, such as contact sync and importing contacts from a spreadsheet. After that, we'll just touch on a couple key features that you should be aware of to get the most out of your Top Producer CRM. Then after that, we'll also cover some help and support resources, as well as contact methods for our support team once again. So just before we jump in here, like I said, just to set it straight that, once again, not trying to cover everything today, not going to try to overwhelm you with too much information. We have plenty of other resources afterwards, simply just to set you down the right path here. And like I said, for one-on-one training, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be more than happy to contact you. But one thing I want to kind of point out is that in subscribing to Top Producer CRM, clearly you want to make a difference for your business. And the great thing about this is you're not just subscribing to software. You can think of it as you're subscribing to a business model. And what I mean by that is that if you use the CRM as intended, it's going to give back to you, tenfold for your investment there. So I'm going to show you how to get started and make the most of that. So yeah, here's the first point here. Create a solid foundation for success with TPX by learning about vital settings first. So everything from email history, calendar sync, MLS connectivity, etc. We'll cover all that and point you in the right direction for, quick start help videos, as well as our support contact information along the way. So going through the settings here, you might be wondering why we need to start with that. And like I said before, it just, you got to set up the CRM, custom tailor it to yourself so that it can then operate the best it possibly can for you before you really dig in and use it. So we're just going to jump into Top Producer X here. If you haven't yet logged in at all, you can go to crm.topproducer.com. Marvin can link you to that down in the chat. So once again, that's crm.topproducer.com. That's the login page for Top Producer X. If you haven't received your login credentials by any chance, maybe somehow you missed that email, just please feel free to reach out to our customer care team, and we can make sure that you're good to go there. Otherwise, feel free to either follow along somewhat, or no big deal if you don't want to or can't at the moment, because like I said, this will all be documented after. You can check it out and review. So we're just going to go ahead and sign in here. So upon logging into Top Producer X, you'll be greeted with the contacts page here. So what we're going to do before we visit that is, let's actually just head down to the settings button here in the bottom left corner. And this is where you can contact the customization settings for Top Producer X. So right off the bat here, there's the My Information page. So that's also displayed on the right here. If you go ahead and click on My Information, this is going to allow you to start customizing your sort of internal profile for Top Producer X. So don't worry too much about this right off the bat, unless maybe you have Market Snapshot. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but Market Snapshot will pull in information from this profile to use as your branding, such as your phone number, address, email, etc., picture. So my recommendation here is, if you do want to get started with this, you do want to fill some stuff out, I'd recommend going through and just filling out the text boxes first, then clicking Save My Info, and then going back and uploading images. And I'd also recommend uploading the images one at a time. The reason I say that is because sometimes, the images might be a little bit too big. You might have to reconfigure them. You will get a little error. It'll say something about internet connection. Don't worry, your internet's probably fine. It's just sort of a generic error that gets spat out to you saying, hey, something's wrong here. And you'll probably want to, either shrink your images down first or do them one by one. But if you need any help with that at all, just please reach out to us and we can give you a hand. So going down here really quick, there is import contacts. And there's also contact sync. So just let me do something here really quick. Just have to adjust something in my CRM to get the contact sync to show up here. Okay, so right near the top here, you'll see contact sync, top left, and import contacts. We'll cover this more in a little bit, but these are two different ways to get your contacts into your Top Producer CRM. So moving down to probably one of the most core features in the CRM, which is email integration. So email integration, why is this important to set up? Well, what it's going to let you do is actually connect your existing business email address to Top Producer X. That's going to let you view email history between you and your contacts, so past and future and everything, right within their contact records. So you don't have to go sifting through your inbox trying to find email threads or conversations. It's all right there within the contact records. You can even compose emails right through the CRM. And we have built-in email templates you can use, which are great for follow-up as well. Another example is if you have our Market Snapshot product, which is sort of an add-on that allows you to send out customized market reports, sort of like a drip campaign, but with a ton of value for all sorts of contacts. If you send one out through the CRM, you can then use our built-in Market Snapshot follow-up emails and get a lot of work done very fast, very efficiently, and provide a ton of value to your leads and clients. So that being said, email integration, how does it work? Well, what you do here is you just fill out your email address in this box, and then you click Authorize Email. So just to show you what this looks like, in this example, I'll use a Google account. So Google is a very, very easy integration with Top Producer X. You know what? Actually, if you are, let's say, not just a new Top Producer user, maybe you're a new realtor as well, and you're looking for recommendations to use for a business email. Well, we'd probably suggest Gmail just because, it's a solid platform. It integrates really easily with Top Producer X, and you have all that functionality built in, such as email inbox, calendar, contacts, etc. So yeah, just a small recommendation if you need that. So moving on here, what we'll do, fill out our business email address, click authorize. So if you're integrating a Google account, it's going to look something like this. You just choose the account. This is just in case you have more than one Google account. You would just click on the one you'd like. And then it's just going to tell you which permissions it needs here to be able to operate correctly. So basically, it just wants to access your inbox, read and write emails and things like that. Yeah, just giving it permission to allow the Top Producer X CRM to connect directly to your Google account and Google email servers. You just click allow down here and just continue following the steps. And then you should be brought back to the email integration page where you'll see connected email accounts. So if your email says status running, that means you're good to go. If you run into any issues with this, or you're not sure, maybe use a business email that is provided from your work, from your brokerage. Maybe there's some more specific server settings involved. I'd recommend just reaching out to our customer care team. I've got the number up there in the top left for you. We can work with you on that. Maybe even get in contact with your admin, your tech, IT team or something like that if we need more specific settings. We can point you in the right direction to get that going if need be. So email integration, like I said, big feature, going to help you stay in contact with your contacts through the CRM and just make your life easier by having a lot more information in one place in the contact records. So moving down to the next setting here, there's email signatures. So email signatures is just, you adding a signature onto your integrated emails that we just set up. So this doesn't pull over, automatically from your email service. You'll just need to set this up. So what you would do is just click on the email you'd like to set a signature for. This editor box is going to pop up here. You can either do it from scratch if you don't have one yet, but if you do have one, and once again, in this example, let's use Gmail. So if you have a signature in your Gmail, you can actually, in most cases, just copy and paste that over. So you'd go to your Gmail, you could do compose, hit the compose button, and then your signature will be in that email, the new email. You can just select it all with your mouse, click and drag with the left mouse button, select from the top left to the bottom right, right click on this, and then hit copy. And then you're going to come into Top Producer and right click in the box here and then click paste. And that should allow you to transfer your signature over. Just click save signature. You should be good to go. In some cases, the formatting might be a little bit different. You might need to put a little bit of work into it to adjust it. Once again, if you need any help with that, any advice or suggestions or anything like that, just please reach out to our customer care team and we can help you customize that. So going down to the next setting here, there's Google Calendar Sync. So Google Calendar Sync allows you to integrate your existing Google Calendar. Now, if you don't use Google Calendar, please stay tuned just a little bit longer. I think within a matter of weeks, we should have this updated as far as I've heard. So this will change from Google Calendar Sync to just Calendar Sync, allowing for more services to be integrated, Outlook Calendar and other things like that, Apple Calendar. And then that will be expanded on even more in the month after that. So just hang in there a little bit longer if you don't use Google Calendar. We do have that on the way. But if you do, please feel free to integrate this. But one thing to point out is if you're interested in using the Contact Sync feature, which we'll talk about later, Contact Sync allows you to bring in contacts directly from your Gmail, iCloud, Outlook, etc. Then please hold off on this Google Calendar Sync for now. They do have an interaction where the Contact Sync will disappear as a safeguard if you set up Google Calendar Sync. So once again, if you're interested in that automated contact sync, please hold off on this Google Calendar sync and add that at the end. But yeah, really quick, just to touch on that, Google Calendar sync essentially going to set up a bi-directional synchronization. Keep your calendar, your top producer calendar and your Google Calendar up to date with each other. You can imagine the value of that, being on the go with your smartphone, and you get to reference everything, the things that you've booked in Top Producer and push things back to Top Producer as soon as you book them in your Google Calendar. So lots of value there. Moving down to the next setting here, there's lead providers. So lead providers, what this is, basically there's a couple different things here. You'll see a link here that says find out which lead providers we support. You can just click on that. That'll actually pop up a window from our tips and support page, providing you with a list of all online lead vendors that we officially support. If you're not sure what an online lead vendor is, maybe you're a newer realtor. Essentially, it is a service that you can pay, put money into to have access to leads. Essentially, you get the chance to have leads come to you based off zip codes, postal codes, etc. And then we can get those leads forwarded directly to your Top Producer CRM so that you can start managing them within that CRM environment as soon as possible. So the way you do this is every Top Producer CRM has its own unique myleads.io address. So while this does look like an email address, it's not a traditional email address. It's basically a way for your CRM to capture those leads and pull them in and automatically convert them into contacts in your database. So how this works is you would copy this right here, and then essentially you would paste that into your lead provider's lead forwarding or notification settings. So for example, if you use Zillow, we can go to our Top Producer tips and support page here. That's topproducer.com/campus. You can just type in Zillow, press enter. Zillow is a popular lead provider, so we could go here and click on 5 Street. How do I forward leads from Zillow? So this article is for our 5 Street program, but the instructions are essentially identical for the Top Producer CRM. Just where you see it say 5street.me, just replace that in your head with myleads.io. So that's one example. If you are paying for leads through realtor.com, which is our sister company, that's a little bit different. That can be set up to automatically forward leads to your CRM just based off of your username. It's a direct integration. You don't need to use the myleads.io for realtor.com leads. If you need any assistance with this myleads.io, the usage of this, please feel free to reach out to us. And one thing I want to point out to everyone in the audience along the way, you might notice there's this little question mark that's beside some of the titles of the settings. So this is a newer feature. This allows you to link directly to the corresponding article for this feature on the tips and support page, including quick start videos here. So just to show you really quick, here's our quick start guides that will walk you through each feature and settings so that you can learn more about them at your own pace. Yeah, so moving on down from lead providers, we're going to touch on Market Snapshot. So Market Snapshot, what is that? I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier that it's a really powerful tool that allows you to send out customized market reports, but it's more than just that. What Market Snapshot really is an amazing conversation starter. So you can custom tailor these market reports to brand new leads, give them some properties to look through, something to talk about, something to reach out to you about. For your past clients, keep them up to date with their property's value. Anyone in between, tons of value within Market Snapshot. It integrates seamlessly into Top Producer X, allowing you to send these snapshot reports right to your Top Producer database. But one thing to point out is that Market Snapshot, if you have it, just please note, it really, really does work best with as much personal follow-up as possible. It's not something to be used just to send out randomly to everyone. You got to follow up with these people. You got to explain to them what it is, and you got to let them know that you're there for them if they need anything. Because like I said, that's the conversation starter. You got to be proactive about it. So that being said, enough about that. We're just going to point out here that these are the Market Snapshot settings. So if you do have our Market Snapshot product, and you're brand new to it, I'd recommend just leaving all these settings as the default. So just leave everything checked until you get used to the program a little bit. A lot of these settings can be customized on the fly as you're sending these reports out, and some of this stuff can actually be customized and filtered by your recipients anyway, so it's not a huge deal. So just to show you what this looks like, we're going to click the View Sample button at the bottom here. So this is kind of a mock-up Market Snapshot report here. As you can see, it's got my name, the top producer customer care number in the top left here, an email button to contact me directly. It's got my picture, and it's got a little message here saying this is what the report is for. It's got a map, lots of things to click on here, lots of data, properties. You can hide different comparables here with the click of a button. Your recipients can change the report in the top right. They can adjust some of the settings for that. You can click this map view here to switch to like a sort of a Google Map style view. And then you can really just easily see at a glance what's going on here. Hide comparables, they'll disappear. Click on properties on the right side here. So this is what your recipient would see. This is just a mock-up though. There's only one picture here. A real report would actually have tons of images pulled in from the MLS. And then they can see property details, schools nearby, neighborhoods, etc. There's a little heart icon up here. If they click this and like it, kind of like a bookmark, you're going to be notified. If they send you a message about the listing asking about it, obviously you're going to be notified as well. So yeah, that's kind of Market Snapshot in a nutshell there. If you want to find out more about that, you can feel free to reach out to, once again, to our support team, and we can talk to you about that. We can also forward you to our sales team for a demo and some more information on pricing and things like that. So we're going to head down to MLS Credentials now. So MLS Credentials, this allows you to link up your MLS board with Top Producer X, and there's a couple of key reasons why you'd really want to do that. One, a unique feature to Top Producer X, it's called Property Insights. And what Property Insights is all about is allowing you to visually document all the properties that your buyers are interested in right within their contact records, nicely organized. You got visuals, you got thumbnails pulled in from the MLS, you got the status kept up to date by the MLS, and all the basic information. And then you can actually add notes directly onto these property insights to keep track of what is going on with this specific property, what your client thinks about this property, what they like, what they don't like, etc., etc. And when the time is right, if someone decides to make an offer on one of these properties, you can actually seamlessly turn those property insights into a transaction. So MLS Credentials connecting to your Top Producer X is going to make it a lot easier for you to keep track of properties and set up transactions. So to get started setting up MLS Credentials, what you want to do is click on, add MLS Credentials in the top right here. Search for your board here. You can start typing part of the name or key, couple key words here, and then it should show up from the list and you can click on it. So in this example, I'll use MLS PIN. And then you would type in your agent MLS ID number and click Save Credentials. If you're not sure what your agent MLS ID number is or which number exactly it's asking for here, just please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer care team. Got the number up there still for you. We can help you pinpoint exactly what your number is. We do have access to that information on our side, so that should be no problem at all to help you get set up with that if you need some assistance. So that being said, you put in your agent MLS ID number, hit Save Credentials, and then when it takes you back to this screen, if it says valid, well then you're all good to go, and you're ready to use Property Insights and transactions. So moving down here to Task Plans Manager. So Task Plans Manager, we won't really be covering today. I would say it is slightly more of an advanced feature. Not that it's hard to use. It's actually quite easy. But this is something that I really suggest digging into after really getting set up with Top Producer. So Task Plans Manager, though, is a way to curate your own plans for contact, lead follow-up, etc. Transaction management, checklists. They'll adapt to key dates in the transactions. Very flexible. And coming very soon, we should have email tasks. So allowing you to send out automated emails as part of these tasks. And then I believe in February, I've heard that we should even have automated texting, which will be really, really cool. So yeah, won't necessarily cover this right now. Just want to let you know it is here and you can make your own task plans. And for one-on-one help with that, once again, please reach out to our customer care team. We'd be more than happy to walk you through that and show you how to make the most of that feature. But like I said, highly recommend setting up the Top Producer CRM for success first, making sure you get your database set up, make sure you understand some of the basics, and then maybe start working on those plans. Because you know what? The Top Producer CRM makes things so easy. It makes it so easy to stay on top of your contacts in the first place that you should be fine for just a little bit until you get to the point where you can comfortably start setting up those plans. So what we're going to do now is head down to the last setting here, which is texting. So texting in Top Producer X, you might wonder, how exactly does that work? I mean, I have my smartphone already. Why would I need texting through the CRM? Well, what this allows you to do essentially is have a kind of a virtual business number. You would essentially connect your smartphone's number to your Top Producer X CRM, and then from that point onward, you can actually send out text messages right from the CRM, right through the contact records, to the number on file for your contacts. This is going to show up as a virtual number. Unfortunately, there is no proper way to, take your existing number and impersonate that. I'm pretty sure that would be illegal or something like that. So the next best thing is we provide you with a virtual number in the same area code as your actual number. If you get a text message to this virtual number, no worries. You're going to be notified on your phone saying you have a brand new text message in Top Producer X. If it's from a contact of yours, it's going to say the contact name and then click here. If it's not a contact, it's just going to show you their phone number. And then you can just go into Top Producer, create a new contact, add that phone number, and start working on them within the CRM environment as well. So that being said, all you got to do for this is fill in your mobile phone number here, then click Save Texting Setup. And please note, you want to fill out your number without any dashes or spaces or anything like that. Just all together is perfectly fine. After that, click Save Texting Setup. It's going to send a notification to your phone. All you got to do after that is respond to that text message with confirm. Come back here, there'll be a button in the top right that says Check Status. You just click that. It should update and say you've successfully integrated your mobile phone number. Your new Top Producer X texting number is blank, and it'll be there for you. So feel free to play around with that and test it out. Maybe get someone, maybe a friend, to text you through it and see how that works. Just get used to that functionality. And what it's going to let you do essentially is just have more information at your disposal within the individual contact records. And it's going to be your hub for everything to do with that contact. So that covers the core settings here in Top Producer X. Just pointing out some things that you should be aware of there. And once again, the reason why you want to do this is you want to set yourself up for success. You want to allow yourself to get the most return on investment out of your CRM subscription. And, we want to make sure you get the most of it. We want to make sure you're successful with it because we know this works. We've worked very hard on Top Producer X and we want you to enjoy it. So that being said here, my challenge to you as the viewer would be to make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure you do customize your CRM first. And if you have any questions at any point, click on, the little help buttons here to reference quick start articles and quick start videos, or give us a call. And then once you've set up your database fully, then it's really time to dive into the more advanced features. So we're going to move on to our second point here. If there's no pending comments. All right. So moving on to the second point here, this is all about contacts, getting your database built up, importing contacts from a spreadsheet or from an email service via contact sync. So as I say here, no need to start fresh. we're going to show you how to bring contacts in, how to build up your Top Producer X database, and get talking and communicating and documenting things with the people you've already been speaking with and dealing with over the past months or years. So let's just jump right into Top Producer X again here and go back down to the settings in the bottom left. So we're going to take a look here at Contact Sync, third option down from the top. Now, Contact Sync, as I kind of touched on earlier, this is a feature that allows you to connect your email that you have contacts in, such as a Google account, iCloud, Outlook, etc. And it's going to allow you to bring those contacts in automatically. So how it works, essentially the same as the email integration. You connect that email, you link it up, and then it's going to start pulling in those contacts. So one thing to note is it's actually going to start bringing in all contacts. So if that doesn't work for you, if maybe there's a large sum of contacts in your email service that you don't want to come into Top Producer, then I'd recommend maybe skipping this feature for now. However, it is worth it to keep your contacts up to date. So for example, if you're on the go, you're talking to someone, you have your smartphone, you add them as a contact to your Google contacts, to your iCloud, etc. The value of this is that it's going to be pushed to your Top Producer CRM automatically. So you can use these existing platforms and features on your existing technology, your smartphone, tablet, etc. And just make that part of your Top Producer CRM experience. So going back here to Contact Sync, like I said, it would look very similar to email integration. You'd fill out your email here and click Authorize, follow the steps. Once again, if you need any help with that, maybe you're having some difficulty with server settings, just please reach out to our customer care team. After that, if it comes back here and says status running, sync runs in the background automatically, keeping your account up to date, then that means it's good to go. That means it's syncing. That means contacts are being pulled in from your email service. So my best recommendation here is, let's say you have some contacts in your email database, but you also have a spreadsheet that you want to import. What I'd recommend is to actually take care of the spreadsheet import first and then do the contact sync after. And the reason I say that is because if you bring in those contacts from your spreadsheet and then set up the contact sync actually has a certain level of duplication prevention. So if you bring those spreadsheet contacts in first, then link up the contact sync, it's going to compare them and say, hey, someone with this name, email, etc. is already in the database. We're not going to synchronize this one. So if you did it the other way around, fortunately there is no duplication checking when importing from a spreadsheet. So that's why you'd want to do the spreadsheet first and then the contact sync after, just in case there's some redundant contacts. Yeah, so that being said, that is Contact Sync, quite easy to use. Now, to cover import contacts. So this is the more, I guess you would say, traditional way to import contacts from a spreadsheet. So what you do is you come in here and you click Choose File to Import. That's going to let you browse your computer for a spreadsheet file. Try to find one here as an example. So you just double click to open that spreadsheet file. And then you're going to see something like this. So it's contact status, contact types, and field mappings. Excuse me. So down here under field mappings, essentially what this is on the left side, it's your spreadsheet. So it's columns from your spreadsheet, and it shows you the first 4 entries for each of the columns as an example. And then on the right side, these are the field mappings available in Top Producer CRM. So what you need to do here is you need to actually link up the columns from your spreadsheet to what's available in Top Producer X as closely as possible to make the most of your import. Now, that being said, there are a couple really important key things to note before doing this and before importing. So I implore you, please don't jump ahead and click import contacts. You want to make sure you do this properly first. And I'm about to show you what I mean by that. So what you want to do here is, first off, contact status. So within Top Producer CRM, there is 5 main statuses and what we refer to as the business pipeline. So there's new. So new is for brand new leads and contacts that come into your system, essentially people that you want to reach out to as soon as possible. After that initial point of contact with them, you can switch them to engage. That way signifies that you have reached out to them. The CRM now knows and adapts and applies different follow-up timeframes to it with the follow-up coach feature, which we'll touch on later. Then there's future, which is something kind of a status for colder leads. Maybe you speak to them, you realize they're not so serious of a buyer or seller at the moment, but you want to stay in contact with them. So that's what future is for. Then there's active. If you successfully converted this person to an active client of yours, perfect. You can put them in active. And then the final ending point, the money maker status, closed. Obviously, where you want to get as many people to as possible. Label them as past clients, stay in touch with them, possible future business, referrals, etc. So my recommendation here is if you have a spreadsheet, let's say you got 85% of them are the contacts in that spreadsheet are what you would consider future. Maybe 8% are, past clients, and the rest are something else in between. What I recommend in that case then is actually selecting future. Because if the bulk of the contacts in that spreadsheet are considered future, it's going to be a lot less effort for you to move out, to put them all into future and then move out the ones that don't belong there. You could also split up your spreadsheet if you want and do multiple imports. That's fine too. You can select different pipeline stages. But if you just want to go in with one big spreadsheet, then my best recommendation is to choose the status that you think is going to apply to most of them. So choose the right status here. Contact types is next. So contact types is like a subcategorization or a label or folder of sorts. This option right here allows you to actually apply contact types to this whole import at once. So there's many things you can add here. There's buyer, for example. There's seller. Past client. So these ones have colors because they're main built-in, primary contact types. But there's tons of others here. You can scroll through the list. You can see what's available. You can just start by typing. And you can add as many contact types here as you want to the import. But please note this will apply to the whole import at once. That being said, if you have a column in your spreadsheet already that could be used as a contact type, you can perhaps even skip this and then go down here. Let's see. So you'll see here in this example spreadsheet, contact types is actually a column in the spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be called contact types. Like let's say you're bringing contacts over from another CRM platform. Maybe it's called something different in that. Maybe it's called labels or type or something like that, something else. That's okay. You can match it up to the contact type field mapping from the list here. This is going to allow whatever that contact has in that column set to a contact type individually. So that's another way. And then if you wanted to, like let's say you use the contact type field mapping to individually apply them, you could also apply contact type to all of them at once. Like let's say you wanted to put like the date of the import as a contact type, that's perfectly fine. You could do that as well. Something like that as an example. So basically once you go through all these field mappings, link up, street name to street name, first name to first name, I recommend actually having your spreadsheet open either on another screen or in the background so that you can reference it beyond these 4 samples that appear here. Take your time with this, please. Whether it be 5, 10, 15, 20 plus minutes, highly recommend taking your time with this so that you do it right the first time and so that you save yourself the headache and frustration of having to fix that or redo it or delete everything and start again later. But that being said, once you feel confident, you've double, triple checked over your field mappings and everything, feel free to scroll down to the bottom and click Import Contacts. That's going to take you back to the Import Contact screen. It'll show you that there's an import in progress. Just to show you what this looks like here. So it'll look something like this, recent imports. And it'll say in progress. Don't worry if it doesn't say a number of contacts or anything. Just click check status and that's going to update it and say completed for you. So if you're uploading, a couple hundred contacts, this could take a minute or two. Don't worry if you're uploading tons, like 1,000 contacts. This might take, a few minutes. But just click check status and that'll keep you up to date there. So that covers both, primary ways to start building your contact database in Top Producer X. Contact Sync for that automatic, updated, bi-directional synchronization with your email service. And one thing to note about Contact Sync, by the way, is that if you have contacts that originate in Top Producer, you'll have to actually click Add to Sync within the contact records to add those contacts to that sync. Otherwise, they won't be pushed to your email service. The ones that originated from your email service, however, will be constantly kept up to date. So just wanted to point that out. So yeah, sorry. Like I said, import contacts, contact sync. If you're not sure how to best approach this, I do highly recommend just reaching out to our customer care team. We can help you figure out what the best solution for you would be between contact sync or import contacts, or maybe both. So just reach out to us. It's really vital to get your Top Producer CRM set up properly with the database first, so that, like I said, it's going to save you a ton of frustration down the road to just make sure it's done right the first time. So that being said, let us jump over to the next point here. So next point here is get insight into Top Producer X's key features and functionality. So what can you do with Top Producer X? Well, we're going to show you a couple key features here that you should be aware of that are going to be essential to day-to-day usage of Top Producer X. And then if you like what you see here, you want to learn more, you'll have tons of options, so don't worry. Like I said, I can't cover everything, but you can always join in for my webinar next week, or this coming Thursday, I should say, every Thursday, in fact, at 10 a.m. So Tuesdays at 10 a.m., the one year Pacific Standard Time, the one you're watching right now, getting started. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 4 things you'll want to know after getting set up with Top Producer X. So I do recommend this webinar, then the Quick Start video library, and then the Thursday webinar. So that being said, let us jump over to Top Producer X here. So we're going to actually go to the contacts page in the top left here, the main page of Top Producer X. So right off the bat here, contact statuses at the top. Business pipeline, like I mentioned. New, engaged, future, active, and closed. So you might be wondering, why do I have to bother with these? Can I ignore them? Can I just make my own? Well, the reason why you want to use the built-in contact statuses is because this is part of the way that Top Producer CRM is structured. It's set up this way for a reason. And if you use the statuses properly, not only is it going to be easier for you to stay organized, but it's going to actually allow great features like the follow-up coach to assist you in your day-to-day follow-up, assist you in your database management. So essentially, you have to give it the correct information, and it's going to give back to you tenfold in terms of value. So jumping back over here, contact status tabs, like I said, new, engaged, future, active, closed. You might notice the follow-up coach up here. Like I said, we'll touch on that very, very soon. And then you'll notice I have a tab here that says hot leads. So this is an example of a custom tab. Cover that soon as well. So different status tabs, they'll have the numbers of contacts in there. How many is in each status? And you can move contacts between statuses at any time. It's very, very easy, just a click of a button. So let's say I want to switch an active contact to closed. I would just click on a contact record, go over to the dashboard here and click on closed. And just like that, contact status switched to closed. Now they'll appear under the closed tab. So I mentioned the contact statuses playing into the follow-up coach. Well, let's just jump right in and show you what I mean by that. So the follow-up coach here, tried and true, sort of semi-automated assistant tool that has been built into Top Producer CRM for quite some time, and Top Producer X is no exception. The follow-up coach is here to help continue to guide you through day-to-day follow-up processes, help to make the most of your time in front of the computer, and really help you get some work done as well as clean up your database. So this is what it'll look like. There'll be 5 tiles that go across the screen representing 5 different contacts. And the core concept of follow-up coach essentially is 5 contacts a day. If you reach out to them with the follow-up coach, that's a solid amount of work being done. If you did that 5 times a week, 25 contacts a week, reached out to, followed up with, stayed on top with, you're getting some good work done. And you've done it with the assistance of the follow-up coach, which is going to take a lot of the hassle and research and guesswork out of it as well. So looking at a couple suggestions here. Let's see. Far right side, this one right here says, schedule a follow-up to ensure imported contacts don't fall through the cracks. So that's what I meant by cleanup tool, is not only is this going to help you legitimately follow up with people, but you can also use it just to start, curating your database. So the follow-up coach does realize that contacts sitting in future like this may just be from a recent import. They might not legitimately just be a future contact. So what you can do is you can click on this. You'll see the purple suggestion. Click on this, and it's going to continue to guide you. It's going to elaborate on that suggestion there. Say, update their pipeline status, contact type, who they should be assigned to. So it's basically just telling you, let's make sure that this contact right here is future. Let's say they're just engaged. Maybe it's someone that I've only reached out to once and I'm still trying to, warm up and see if they want to work with me. Well, then let's take this opportunity right now to switch them to engage. And let's say this person is also a buyer. Well, let's go down to edit contact at the bottom here. Click on that. So, sorry, let's try that again. Edit contact. Scroll down to the bottom. Go to contact types. And then let's click in this box and type buyer. Click on that. It'll tag it with that buyer tag. Scroll down and click save contact. So now we've updated the status to engage. We have added a contact type of buyer. And it says the last touch here was status change to engage. And you know what? That is good enough for the follow-up coach. That has satisfied the criteria I was looking for. And it's going to say that this person has been, taken care of. So we can click the X up here to close the record. And you'll notice now here, this contact says completed. So very easy to just get some work done, like I said. Here's another couple examples. Future contact, Fred. Consider getting in touch. It's been a while. Flex your neighborhood know-how. That sounds good. Maybe I want to use this opportunity to reach out to Fred. Click on his record here. So it says, check in with a call or personal email so you don't lose touch. So let's say I called up Fred. I want to document that. So I'm just going to click mark done after calling him. It's going to ask, by which method did you reach out? I'm going to say call. And you can write details here. Spoke to Fred. Got up. Been a while. Went over property value via market snapshot. And then let's say Fred and I decided to speak again soon, but just tentatively. I can set it to do here. Say follow up with Fred. Let's say we're giving Fred some time. I'm going to speak to him on Friday. Save that wrap up. It just takes a little bit of time when I'm streaming the webinar. Normally this would be almost instantaneous, so we'll just give it a second here. But essentially, what you're doing here is you're taking this chance to follow up with this contact that's been brought to your attention. You're reaching out to them. You're documenting that in the CRM. So like I said, this is just a hub for everything to do with this contact, real estate related. So after that, this should be marking as done. I'm not sure. Okay, so there we go. We've wrapped that up. It says last touch, call made. So that automatically made a call task. And so now that's taken care of. You can close the record. And you'll see here, completed. So that's another contact taken care of. Another one here says, so this is for our market snapshot users. Let's say you send out a snapshot for the first time. It says a market snapshot was sent to your client, but they haven't viewed it. Follow up and find out why. So click on that. It's going to elaborate here and say, call or send the did you receive your neighborhood report email to your client. They'll be impressed with your follow-up. So like I said, highly, highly recommended to follow up on Market Snapshot to get the most out of it, to make sure that it does work and people see it and understand what it is. So let's say I think, hey, you know what, that's a great idea. I should have done that in the first place. Let's fix this. So we can go to emails here. We can use our integrated email. Click compose email. Then we can even go down to the templates button in the bottom right here, the 4 brackets. And you'll see there's a bunch of built-in email templates. Just scroll down about halfway, you'll see the ones marked new in yellow. Market snapshot follow-up. So let's say he's a past client, he's a buyer. So let's say he's now interested in selling. Let's do the market snapshot seller follow-up. This will explain to them what it is, what the value is, and if they need any help that they can reach you at, and then your phone number will be pulled in from your business number, from your cell phone number in your My Information page. So that's something you'll want to fill out to make the most of these email templates. So let's say I send off this follow-up email to Jerry here. Email message sent. That's now showing up in the email history. It shows that it's not viewed yet with this little red eye. So as you can see, just a hub for everything to do with your contacts. You can jump between the dashboard, view some information at a glance, jump between the email history. You can check in on important dates, which is a feature for documenting anniversaries, birthdays, etc. Your notes section, tasks, etc., etc. So very powerful, very easy to use to stay on top of your contacts here. So after I send that, I'm going to mark this as done. Tell the follow-up coach I reached out by email. Informed contact of market snapshot. And let's say I'm going to follow up. Let's do a to-do. Mark that for 2 days from now. Follow up about market snapshot. Save that wrap up. So now I've set a reminder for myself. I've set a task to follow up on the market snapshot here. So I'm going to wrap up the call that's already been made to get rid of that and just say follow up on market snapshot. Oh, this is a past example. So here's the current one. Follow up on market snapshot 2 days from now. Shows up in tasks, shows up on the calendar on the left side here. Shows up, like I said, on tasks. Let's do tomorrow, next 7 days. Follow up about market snapshot. Everything's interconnected. No matter where you go, you're going to be able to stay on top of these things you set and document. So that's some examples of the follow-up coach. It's something that I definitely highly recommend. It's a big part of the Top Producer CRM. So my challenge to you guys is to get in there, import your database, wait 24 hours for the follow-up coach to kick in after that import, and then really just dig in. Use it as much as possible. I would say, get through at least those 5 contacts, see how that goes. In the next week, see if you can, maybe take care of 15, 20 contacts with a follow-up coach. And I think you'll be very impressed and very happy with how easy it's made it to stay on top with contacts, how easy it made it to clean up your database and just bring people to your attention. And like I said, take some of the effort and guesswork and, investigation out of it. So going back to the main contacts page here, another couple things really quick before we wrap up for today. Adding a contact from scratch and contact type. So if you need to add a contact from scratch on the fly, just use the add contact button in the top right. It's going to look like this. Minimum information you need is a first name. Obviously, you should probably fill out more than that if possible. If you're in a hurry, you can get away with that, I suppose. You can set the primary contact method. This is what's going to show up in the list view in your tabs. After that, you can set the phone numbers, primary email. You can add additional emails if you need, websites, address, etc. You can set the contact status from the get-go. They don't have to start anew. You can set contact types here. So once again, kind of already covered contact types, but like I said, you can add your own, my own contact type, and then just click add, and that's going to now add to your database. It's going to attach to this contact and it's ready for use. So let's just say here that you fill this out and you click save contact. It's going to take you back to it's going to open the contact record right away. It'll look something like this. And so what's the point of contact types? Well, they can help you stay organized. You can search for contacts via contact types. And the really cool thing is you can customize your database, customize your top producers contacts tabs with custom tabs. You can make your own custom lists for maybe your hottest leads, for maybe other professionals you work with, even other agents on your team if you have multiple user licenses for top producer. So the possibilities are pretty much limitless. I'll just give you a really quick example here. So just along the top here, new, engage, future active, close, follow-up coach. Let's say you want to tab for your hot leads. We're going to go up here. Actually, to start off with, we're going to create that contact type. So we would go into a contact, edit contact once again, scroll down, search for contact type, and I got one here already. It says hot. You can add that to your database if it doesn't exist. Or hot leads, for example, add, boom, save contact. Then we're going to go to the top right corner, click on the gear icon, manage tabs, then click on create tab. So let's call this hot leads, and let's add the contact type hot, and let's also add hot leads just to be thorough here, just to show you this example. Then click create tab. So what have we done now? We've created our own custom view for all the contacts that are tagged with hot or hot leads across any contact status. So no matter whether they're engaged or they're new, they're going to show up here. So let's say no matter the status, maybe you wanted to send out some material to your hottest leads, or you just want to stay in contact with them no matter what. Well, then you can add a custom follow-up reminder here in the top left. Let's say you want a reminder for 3 days. See, now what it's done is it's highlighted these contacts as overdue because they're outside that 3-day threshold. As an example here, let's change this to 5 days. You'll see what happens. Now Nick here, whose last touch was 5 days ago, he's actually highlighted only in yellow, and it says follow-up because he falls right into that prime follow-up space that you've just set. So follow-up coach, built an algorithm to help you stay on top of your database, but for an extra security net, for an extra layer of follow-up reminder, for your own custom thresholds for follow-up reminders are available for every single tab except for new. So you can go set a 1-day reminder for your new tab if you want, 3-day for engaged, let's say, 14-day for future, etc., so on and so forth. Really customizable. Highly recommend taking advantage of contact types as soon as possible. Make your own custom lists. Really make the CRM yours. Have some fun with it and really tailor it to how you run your business. So that about covers it for today. There's a couple other features not covered today, but like I said, don't want to overwhelm with the information. Just show you some of the basics to get started, and then after that, now we can point you in the right direction. Like I said, get in contact with our customer care team, use available resources, and let me just jump over here and show you what I mean by that. So what's next here? Self-serve Top Producer X Quick Start videos, other webinars, and you can contact us. So off to a great start. Now let's tap into a growing repository of TPX Quick Start videos on our YouTube page and some other resources we have. So Marvin in the chat there can link you to it, but let me show you something really quick here. We did just recently update our Top Producer tips and support page. It's better than ever. It's a great hub now to go in any direction of learning that you want, and it's accessible right from your Top Producer CRM. So what you want to do here in Top Producer, top right corner, if you set a profile picture, it's going to be up here. If you haven't set a picture yet, that's okay. It's going to show up as a little gray circular icon with a little sort of humanoid thing in it. Just go ahead and click on that. Then click on the third option down, which is support site. So this is going to launch you into our Top Producer campus or tips and support page. Like I said, our website team did an amazing job with this. They just overhauled it about a week and a half ago. And right dead center video library for Top Producer X Quick Start videos. Highly recommend the Quick Start videos after this webinar before jumping into the Thursday one. If you want a written getting started guide with pictures and videos along the way, this will kind of cover similar things to what we went through today. How-to guides, broken down, more specific, nitty-gritty about each specific setting and detail for all of our products. Really highly recommend coming here if you want to get in depth and you want to learn more about how to use something. And if, you can, of course, contact us along the way as well. Social will actually bring you to our Facebook page. So if you want to get updates about new features, if you want to join our sales director, Keith Hawken, he actually does some amazing webinars on here about new top producer features. He also has some great webinars and interviews with other industry professionals going over some really cool subjects that are real estate related. So come in here, join the Top Producer official group. There should be a request to join in the top right here. There's also the chat now, which will open the chat box in the bottom right. Also available in the bottom right of your CRM, Market Snapshot, 5 Street, every other product that we have. Great for quick questions on the fly. Great for some help if you don't necessarily feel like picking up the phone at the time. Then you'll notice right at the top here, webinar schedule. So I've been mentioning my other webinar. I mean, you made it to this one today, and I'm really happy about that. If you want to see the upcoming webinars, click on webinar schedule. Nice simple calendar view here. You'll see the ones that are faded out have already passed. You can actually click on them to view the recording. But if you want to get ready to join in one that is upcoming, you just click on it. Then you're going to be presented with the video on YouTube. So live in 6 days, you can set a reminder via YouTube. You can also set a reminder via Google Calendar and Apple Calendar. It's going to have all the details here for you. So next, like I said, subscribe to our YouTube page, Facebook group if you'd like. Excuse me. Use our campus page as a hub for success. Go in any learning direction you want. Get reminders for weekly Facebook Live and YouTube sessions. Stay up to date, join in, engage with us. We'd be happy to continue to hear from you. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can contact our customer care team via phone, live chat, or also our help desk at support@topproducer.com. Once again, here is the support contact information for you. So guys, that's about it for today. Like I said, just to reiterate, really hope this kind of helped raise some awareness for where you should go, where you should look, what you should get ready first before digging into Top Producer X. Like I said, if anything, if you have any questions that weren't covered today, anything that you're not sure about still, please reach out to our customer care team directly. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. And join in my webinar on Thursday to dig more into the day-to-day of Top Producer X, 4 things you want to know after getting set up Top Producer. So yeah, that being said, if you want to view this video afterwards, just please revisit the page on YouTube. I think within a few hours it should be live. Feel free to reference that. Feel free to send it to friends, other realtors that use Top Producer. Yeah, another great way to learn at your own pace by revisiting the video if you like. So that being said, everyone, thank you so much for attending today. Hope to see you on Thursday. Yeah, this has been Spencer with Top Producer's Customer Success Team. Been joined by my pal Marvin LaRosa in the live chat down there. And yeah, we both wish you the best and happy holidays, Merry Christmas coming up. And going to the new year, it's time to become a top producer. So take care for now, and we'll talk to you next time.